That's the New York Giants. The Giants lose to the New Orleans Saints 26-14. Spencer Rattler, who was 0 for 10 as a starter, gets his first win. Kellen Moore, former Eagles OC and Dallas Cowboy OC, gets his first win as a head coach. Again, this was not only just a tale of two halves, but it's the tale of what the Giants are and what the Giants aren't. They are not a good team. They fall to 1-4. They got the Philadelphia Eagles at home on a short week. You're starting a rookie quarterback who's going to make his rookie quarterback jitters and his rookie quarterback's mistakes. And as an offense, we are just as stagnant and bad as we were with Russell Wilson under center. The only difference is you're going to see the maturation of the Jackson Dart. You looked good early on going through the second quarter. But you can't keep running. As a Giants offensive coordinator, you have to open the playbook. You can't have Jackson Dart throw the ball 40 times and only complete 26 for only 5 yards a catch. The dinks and the dunks just don't work. You are going to have these off defenses, and we've said this before, smart defensive coordinators are going to see what the Giants are doing and make halftime adjustments in reference to throwing the ball short, throwing the ball to the tight end, throwing the ball into situations where you are not allowing Jackson Dart to cause you the turnover, even though he had 3 today. But it's just reaching a crescendo to the point that there is such a lack of creativity on this team by the boy wonder and the genius Brian Daboll that you feel bad for anyone that is a quarterback on this team. You have to. You go and look at what Daniel Jones is now doing in Indianapolis. And I'm still not a Daniel Jones fan because of the fact that I don't think he's playing great teams. He's basically played one really good team and lost, but he's playing better. He's playing within himself in the game. Daniel Jones, if you look at it, was 20 for 29 for 212 and 2 touchdowns, but he also has Jonathan Taylor in the backfield making all these big plays. And I love watching Tyler Warren play in this Indianapolis Colts offense. I really love watching him play. And I salivate to the fact of what he could have been if the Giants went that direction. But if you take a look at this team from a defensive standpoint, secondary is still garbage. Drew Phillips has so many penalties. He's got so many 3 strikes. I assume he's a felon. And I assume Drew Phillips is a convicted felon. Because he has got so many penalties against him, it's not even funny. While he had a good game last week, this was not a good showing for the likes of the mighty Drew Phillips. The vaunted pass rush, again, 0 fucking sacks. I have to keep hearing about Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and, of course, Abdul Carter. 0 sacks. Abdul Carter, 4 tackles, only 1 which was solo. No quarterback hits, no pressures. The mighty Brian Burns, who's played well, has had 3 total tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, no quarterback hits, no pressures. Kayvon Thibodeau, 1 tackle for a loss, no quarterback hits, no quarterback pressures. We've always talked about this, and we've talked about this the day we signed Brian Burns, that him and Kayvon Thibodeau have a propensity of disappearing at times during games, not only for games, but sometimes for weeks. And this was one of these games where our vaunted pass rush was non-existent. Now, for our only sake was the fact that the Saints defense was not much on the pass rush as well. But they did have 5 quarterback hits on Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart did have time to throw, but his throws are always going short. It's this scary, weird theme. Every play has got to be 5 or 10 yards in front of him. Every play has got to be this short little. And we're not even going to talk about the Juwan Howard fumble. We're not going to talk about how we went rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for 96 yards on the Cam Scatterbo fumble on the New Orleans 12. Young lad, hold on to the fucking ball. You are not. This is the problem with Cam Scatterbo, and I keep saying this over and over again. You are not good enough to make mistakes like fumbling. You had 15 carries for 59 yards, once again, under 4 yards, and your longest carry was 9 yards. You are not good enough, young man, to do these things. Plain and simple. Why we've gotten away again from using Devin Singletary at all is perplexing, to say the least. But this offense is so stagnant. This offense is so uncreative. It just kind of tears at you the way this team plays. I said this before. Everyone had this win for the Giants penciled in, that everyone had it in win. I even predicted them winning on Twitter, but I predicted them winning on Twitter because you had to hope and have a feeling that they were going to be somewhat better. I was on the Sports Coma show yesterday talking with their host, it's a Saints show, talking about how the Giants should take this game because on paper, the Giants are better than the Saints. And you have a quarterback that's 0-10 in Spencer Rattler. You have a head coach who is a first-time head coach besides being an offensive coordinator. And like I said before, you had to be concerned that Kellen Moore has so much information and knowledge on the Giants because of the fact that he has played them so many times as the coordinator for the Cowboys and the Eagles. And it kind of showed a little bit in that second half. It's just a typical Giant fashion. It was the typical Giant trap game. And I said that we ran into that pitfall. We ran into it like we've done since even going back to 2007. We win a game we shouldn't win, and then we come back the next week and we drop a game that we shouldn't have lost. Like I said, everyone had this game penciled in. I will say this for the Giants. Everyone predicted them to be 1-5 at this point. It's just kind of interesting where that one win came from. You let Spencer Rattler go 20 for 30 for 225 yards. You had that huge fucking pass, that 87-yard pass. I just don't understand our secondary. I don't understand our defense in general. I will give the defense some credit. They only rushed for 88 yards, but why do you need to worry about 88 yards when you throw for 244 and you guys got guys open for 87, 17, 12, 19, 12, and another 14-yard receptions? Jalen Hyatt got into the game. He was targeted 3 times with 0 catches. There's a shock there. Bo Collins had his first NFL catch for 1 catch for 7 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson, why the fuck are you sending Wan'Dale Robinson down the field deep? Is there a reason for that? Yeah, the Smurf had a good game against the Cowboys but you know what? Everyone has a good game against the Cowboys defense. Let's just be 1,000% honest. Everyone has a good game against them. That's just literally the way it is. So for me to sit there and tell you that great game was nothing more than an aberration, you throw a guy down the field that has such a small catch radius and you expect him to be a deep threat, it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. We also have to talk about the bad fumble for Jackson Dart. Okay, and I am not saying that Jackson Dart is Daniel Jones when he was here, but what did that look like when Jackson Dart was running down the middle of the field and he just drops the ball? That he literally just dropped the ball while he was running. You cannot tell me you did not sit there and think to yourself, oh dear Lord, we're seeing a Daniel Jones moment. But I'm going to give the kid a benefit of the doubt because he's a rookie. I am going to say this, and I am going to be worried about this. I'm worried about this, and I've been worried about this since the day I saw him throw deep at the combine. I am extremely worried about his deep throw ability because I am seeing a lot of passes come up short in reference to him throwing the ball. And I think there should be some concern about that when he tries to go deep on that long shot, there has been some times where he's come up short And I've said it before, I'm not a huge fan of his throwing motion in reference to Jackson Dart. I'm not a huge fan of this 3/4 sideline throw that he uses. I'm not a big fan of that. And I'm not a big fan about the amount of torque that he has to generate to get the ball deep, and he's still coming up short on these passes. And I'm not going to be concerned about it because, like I said, it is only the kid's second NFL start. But you got to open up the playbook a little bit. You have to. Because just running short to the tight end, doing these dink and dunk shit, defensive coordinators have figured this out rapidly. They have figured this shit out rapidly. You need to come up, for some reason the music came on. You need to come up with a philosophy that you're not just going to run a dink and dunk offense where you only throw for technically 99 yards on 40 attempts for 5 yards. The interception on the 4th down play I thought was interesting because that was the type of play that got Russell Wilson benched. Russell Wilson, everyone talks about that series in the red zone that got him basically benched against Kansas City, where one play was a design run and the other 3 plays he threw away. Well, here's the thing. If you don't throw it away or you force an interception like Jackson Dart did, I'm just saying that same play same type of series, same type of play got Russell Wilson benched. Once again, the Giants only come up with 14 points. Yes, there's all this energy. There's all this aura. Well, that literally means nothing when your quarterback is second in the team in rushing, only 4 yards behind your starting running back who ran the ball 15 times for 59 yards, and the longest run is 9 yards. And the big fumble that basically sealed the deal for the Giants. Hold on to the ball, young man. You know what? You want to go for those. And it wasn't even like he was fighting for an extra yard. He just cut it back inside and the ball popped out. Great balls of fire. Oh, the stream is going to be fun, manana, because it is what it is. Wow. I mean, the Brian Dable chants need to start again. That's all I'm going to say. Because once again, this game was fumbled away. This is Dennis here at Giants Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC, and I'm out of here.